going to record as well. Wow, we're all the things. Hey everybody, this is Amanda Elo'Esh.
And Dr. Matthew Gamble.
We are live with you to share a little bit about a monthly gathering that we don't usually do live, but we didn't have anybody show up. We had a bunch of people register, but we didn't have anybody show up live or on Zoom. So we thought we would go live and share with you a little bit about what we do every month on the first Wednesday of the month at 5:30 Pacific. We are here offering support for entheogen preparation and integration. Why is that important?
Well, what we have experienced is there are a number of people, and seem to be a growing number of people with interest, both young and old alike, having interest in entheogens, or AKA psychedelics, AKA plant medicines, or healing allies. And people are finding interest because they're seeing all the data that's coming out. There's a number of articles that are being written, and news is picking up on it, books being written, a lot of influencers speaking about it, and the efficacy is undeniable. So thus, there's a number of humans that are saying, hey, I'm interested in these things, including my 86-year-old father is even saying, hey, I'm end of life, I'm in a lot of pain, and I would be really interested in sitting in one of your ceremonies. So what we, through a lot of prayer and work with these medicines ourselves, and then spending time ourselves, have just simply been led to feel the need to create a space that's safe and sacred, which is part of our mission. And we can get into that a little bit later, but create a safe and sacred container for people to be able to come and share and learn and grow and heal together with our diverse communities. So that's a bit about the why, and just wanting to show up and support people in a good way. Another reason is that some people are interested in these things, finding these things, and then and maybe you can dive into that a little bit more, and just part of the reason why we're making ourselves available, in hopes to really encourage and support, because we do believe in these allies as being real gifts, and that when taken in a way that is prepared for and integrated, we believe that really incredible things can take place in an individual's life. So we're just
and these allies, they put us in an altered state. And that altered state is helpful because it helps us break patterns of trauma. It helps us break patterns of how we were doing things that weren't really working, that may have created a stuckness in our reality. And these plant allies are here to help us to have some new possibility. And these allies also can, in those altered states, it's very disorienting, which can be very beneficial if it's a safe and sacred space where you feel like you can soften, relax, surrender, release those old patterns, those old ways of being, and get the natural balancing healing of these entheogens, these different living allies that are here to help us to heal our lives. But if we come to heal old trauma and don't have a safe space to do it in, then the release can actually be re-traumatizing at times. And so I've had the privilege and opportunity of working with different entheogens, starting with cannabis in 1998 in a conscious way, and have learned a lot that's really helped me to heal, and helped, countless clients to heal through accessing these altered states consciously and working with them with special tools so that it accelerates the healing and learning and growth process. And somewhere along the lines, this was before the conversation about preparation and integration got into the public eye. I got direction from plant medicine, specifically ayahuasca in the Amazon, she said, you know what? She said, I'm a big fucking deal. Ayahuasca is a big fucking deal. And people are coming to work with these medicines and they don't necessarily get any preparation other than a diet. And there's so many more elements to proper preparation and proper preparation and proper integration. And so she encouraged me, because I have my master's degree in counseling psychology, and I've been working in the realms of consciousness and the subconscious and healing trauma since I was 11 years old. Just unusual circumstances in my life, and was encouraged by the medicine to put together some different programs to help people who are interested in these entheogens for healing, to do it in a way that really honors the power of these entheogens and honors the safe and sacred container, and helps to really make the healing that's available as deep, as gentle, as powerful, and as safe as possible. And so that's what I've been doing now. Dr. Gamble's with me on the scene and bringing his expertise, speaking worldwide in transformational gatherings as well. And we're bringing our superpowers together to support you in getting as much healing in your life as possible in a safe and sacred way.
I will chime in and share, because you mentioned 98 with cannabis.
Yeah, that was working really consciously with cannabis.
So I would say that sorry, we're just accepting.
We're admitting someone in. No, we're gonna pin ourselves. How do we pin ourselves? We're gonna do this. Pin. There we go.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So Amanda was just mentioning that in '98 she started working with cannabis consciously, and I was like, wow, I hadn't ever really thought about the dates and the times, but just to presence kind of the good, the bad, the ugly. But in '91 is when I was introduced to cannabis at the age of 16, and it was a game changer for me, and became something that really I would do alone more regularly than I was socially. And it served as, I was an atheist at the time, going through a lot of pain and depression and kind of overwhelm in my life. And then cannabis did serve as this catalyst to wake me up to prayer and engage in spirituality and slow down, and quite frankly, the invitation to sit in nature. And then I would say shortly thereafter, I started working, well, this is where the non-consciously working with LSD and psilocybin, magic mushrooms in high school. And I would have, I can definitely recall really divine experiences and supernatural experiences, or experiences that really felt that they fed spirit or awakened spirit in my, in my teenage mind and developing mind. But anyway, I did end up diverting from using those medicines specifically into Christianity at the age of 21. I guess I was using cannabis off and on throughout my ministry as a pastor, but in 2017 had a major come to Jesus moment, for lack of better phraseology.
Come to Entheogens moment.
Come to Entheogens moment of just recognizing and stumbling across some of the data coming out from Johns Hopkins University about the efficacy of the healing that people were experiencing using psilocybin. And that really, again, in 2017, that's where I had a major shift in my awareness, and have been on a path that resulted in me resigning from that career and stepping out of Christianity in general. No offense to Christians, I have a lot of respect and love, but absolutely turning to plant medicines as living allies to provide my own healing. And then now, along with Amanda, for the last year and a half, really supporting and serving those that come into our path as well. Amanda, I know you mentioned some of your experience, but from my observer's distance, I refer to Amanda as a shaman medicine woman who's been serving medicine here in the Bay Area for a long time in a very sacred way, in a very ceremonial way and transformative way. And that's the work we're doing on a regular basis now, and which is providing a lot of joy and for us, and then also a lot of just being able to see the continued healing.
Yeah. And so our mission is to help to educate, help to prepare, and then also support healing with entheogens. So we're here in Calistoga, California, and April launched our brand new vision of being of service, and we offer several live gatherings and then this online gathering, completely non-transactional, aka free. That includes Wachuma, that includes cacao, includes sound healing, that includes prayer, the medicine of prayer, which is very powerful and is woven into everything that we do because it shifts consciousness. We could geek out about that. And what we intend to do with this particular offering, Entheogen Preparation and Integration online, is to answer questions so that you can ask really deep, intimate questions. Usually we are just on Zoom doing this, but when we tuned in, we didn't have anybody tune in right away. And so we thought we would go live and share just a little bit. We'd like to start with a little, like, there's so much. This has been my, adult lifelong study, exploration, elevation, refinement, in my academic pursuits, in my spiritual pursuits, in my initiations into different indigenous lineages and medicine lineages. And so we're here to provide that support for asking questions, and just like to offer a little bit of a nibble. And I think what we might do is offer that little nibble and then go off of the live and back into our private Zoom. And you can join us at any time, but we have had some participants show up on our Zoom, and we want to provide that safe and sacred space for private, candid, uncensored ability to ask vulnerable questions about this work and to share deep experiences. So the piece that I wanted to share this month is about how to show up to an experience of working with entheogens. We are stepping into an altered state. And as I mentioned previously, the first invitation from an entheogen was ayahuasca. And she just said, I'm really a big deal, and people need better preparation, and so if you want a profound transformational experience, imagine, the benefit of giving it the reverence that it deserves. So that means giving yourself spaciousness before and after. If you're stepping into an experience that's going to completely, hopefully, change everything in your life that's been limiting and stuck and painful, which they can do. Some often people come to a single medicine ceremony and walk away with profound changes on multiple levels. And so imagine coming in, the difference between coming into one of those experiences, showing up early so that you're familiar with the space, because a lot of fear can come up. You can feel it, like, oh shit, stuff's about to change. And that can get a little scary and it can get ungrounding. So if you show up, plenty of time to get there on time, you've really read all of the information shared with you, you've shown up with all the things that you need to be comfortable, you've nourished yourself properly, you've rested yourself properly, you show up with time to really land and ground in the space and get to know the people. If you're stepping into a facilitator role, helping people to feel really safe and grounded, and recognizing that people are showing up with maybe a little bit of fear and like, oh gosh, what's this going to be like, especially if it's their first time, to really set them up for success. Make sure that they can find you properly, make sure that you greet them really warmly, make sure the space is clean, make sure that everything's organized so that you can be focused. Because facilitators or participants, if you can show up really grounded, present, centered in yourself so that you can relax as much as possible, the plants really will do so much of the work. And that was my little tidbit I wanted to offer. Just really honor the power of what you're stepping into. Recognize it can change everything. And when everything changes, it's still disruption, even if it's what you prayed for. And giving yourself as much gentleness, as much spaciousness as possible to navigate all the healing that's not only going to happen in the ceremony, but afterwards. You're not just going to have the presto changeo in the ceremony and walk out with a completely different reality. Things have to shift. Maybe, jobs change, maybe relationships change, maybe habits change, and all of that takes some time and spaciousness. And if you don't afford that to yourself, give yourself permission to have it, it's real easy to just step back into old ways. And then it was just a bucket list experience. And then you go on with, not so transformed reality, and thinking about how great that thing was, but not really having much of a different life. So that's my share for today, for this month. Anything that you would like to add to that, Dr. Matthew?
Amanda and I recently sat with I would call them spirit family for sure. They're a close couple that live in the Bay Area, and had an incredible experience with them. And just as you were talking, just thinking about that experience leading up, and setting really good intentions when we did gather and meet, and to have some good clarity, just to set clarity. And as Amanda was talking about, like getting to the space, like giving them space to come in and get set up and really comfortable.
Some tea, show them where the bathrooms are.
And because these, again, as Amanda said, these events are very significant. And I think it does, this often comes up for me in ceremony, especially in sharing. For me, as I hear people talk about, I think it takes a tremendous amount of courage to come into these. I think it's one thing if you're, I'm not trying to judge another person's setting, because I know a lot of people will ingest certain medicines and be in a party setting or in a rave or whatever. And I'm not here to judge that. This type of setting would be something that's very, very different. And to just be the invitation to be really gentle with yourself, and then also have expectation or intentions. Sorry, the better word would be intentions. I think it's really good to set intentions with the medicine in that preparation. And then just the importance of the surrender. As Amanda said on the front end, we could talk so much, because there is so much about working with these allies in a good way. I know I'm continuing to learn. I think I can speak for yourself that you're continuing to learn. And we're just excited to be able to be a part of the continued conversation, and again, creating that safe and sacred container. So if you do have, wherever you're tuning into this or watching this, if you do have any questions or comments or points of clarification, don't hesitate to contact us at any time.
Wherever you're seeing this, send us a message. We're offering free ceremonies, free gatherings. This is free every month. We're here every first Wednesday of the month at 5:30 Pacific. Usually not live, but we didn't have anybody show up in the beginning, and we still feel the value of what is coming through. So we'll be here, and we'll always be sharing something a little bit different, and then whoever shows up live in the Zoom event, we can answer questions, and we look forward to hearing from you and connecting with you and getting your questions asked. Entheogen Preparation and Integration. We would love to have you join our community. We'd love to pray with you and answer any of your questions and help you as much as we can. That's what we're here to do. Your quicker waker uppers. And until we get to connect with you again, may the source be with you. We're going to go off live and go into our private Zoom gathering. Hello, Taylor. You can take yourself off mute.
If you're live.
We'd love to answer any questions that you may have. We are not on live anymore.
But if you are talking, you would be muted.
Yeah, you're muted. You can hit the ask to unmute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.